Good morning. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Trying to get everything set up here. Cherie is running just a tad bit behind. For those of you all who are just jumping in, perhaps you're catching the replay. We're actually going to broadcast live for the few, maybe this is my second time going live on Instagram, so we're doing that as well. But for those of you all who don't know me, my name is Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach. Today is Saturday, and we're talking Breakfast with the Brookses. We're going to talk about a subject that's really near and dear to our heart, guys. We want you to do us a favor. Please like us, share it, heart us up. I'm just super duper excited. Cherie and I got married. It'll be 19 years ago. Good morning, babe.
Good morning.
19 years ago, come Tuesday, January 30th. And I think that one of the things, for those of you all who don't know our story, together we've written 7 books between the two of us, all ranging on subjects regarding parenting and marriages and that sort of stuff. But I really want to talk a lot about sort of our blended family journey a little bit today, particularly relative to parenting. And I know there's so many people that can relate to this. Like, we are in our 50s, believe it or not. I'm 51. I know I don't look it. And how old are you, babe?
I am 52. I'll be 53 in March.
53 in March. I know she looks younger than me, but it's the other way around. So how about that? So the crazy thing is, babe, we have learned and got our chops, if you will, learning on the job. And we're committed, guys, to sharing with people what we've learned, right? And so I think that one of the biggest ways that you can sort of navigate life is to actually, take the lessons that you've learned and make them work for you. So excuse me real quick. For those of you all who don't know, a year ago, Cherie and I created a relationship academy. It's called Marriages and Parenting Successfully. And every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., it's a Zoom call. It's a private call. We bring a group of people in and we coach them and basically help them. What's up, Marcus? It's good to see you, brother. Make sure you share this out and let folks know that we're on live this morning. I really want to speak to parents of adult children, right? Or those that are coming close. Maybe they're seniors in high school or they're getting ready to get up out the nest and you're struggling with some things. We want to help you. But when we created MAPS, guys, the whole point of us creating Marriages and Parenting Successfully really was to create an environment, a room where people could come into the room and they could feel loved on, quite frankly, and we would create a community that would help people to be able to grow in their skill set, Cherie.
Right.
And so I think that unfortunately, most of us are losing in our relationships because our skill sets are not developed.
Right. Marriage and parenting are the two roles that you can take on in life, or jobs, if you want to call them that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no training.
None required.
You don't need a degree. You don't need a certification.
Right.
You just decide you want to do it. You do it. Marriage, you go get a marriage license. Parenting, you just have a child.
You have no license. There's no license needed for parenting, right? Marriage license, yes. Shoot, you even need a license to drive a car, but you don't need a license to be a parent.
Right. Because there's no formal training, it's on the job training. But in order to be successful in either role as either a spouse or a parent,
mm-hmm.
you have to continually invest in yourself. You have to learn. You have to gain wisdom.
Absolutely.
From people that have done it before.
Absolutely.
From different resources in order to help you overcome some of the pitfalls that are inevitable in both of those relationships.
And I think one of the things, like even as authors, we tend to write about our life. We tend to put out in paper or on paper in writing what we went through, because I think what that does is it provides sort of a blueprint for what people may get. Like, think of it as a map. That's one of the reasons why we were super excited when a friend of ours helped us with the title of what we would call our group. I thought about it. No, it is a map. So the destination for you to get from childhood to adulthood is a journey. That's an actual journey through something, right? And if you don't have a map, if you don't have a blueprint, if you don't have something that can kind of tell you, turn here, no, stop there. There's an accident up ahead. There's something going on that you may need to navigate. You're going to wreck. You're going to have a problem. And I want to help to help people avoid that as much as possible. So today we're going to get into some things. If you want to know more about what we do with marriages and parenting successfully, go to thecrcoach.com. If you're listening on Instagram, do me a favor, guys, share this out. This is our first time really broadcasting, I think. Yeah. Broadcasting Breakfast with the Brookses live on Periscope. On Instagram. So y'all make sure y'all share that out as well. But thecrcoach.com, www.thecrcoach.com. One thing we do want to mention, if you guys are interested in cruising with us at the end of the year, we're excited. We've got some
4 cabins left.
Is that right?
4.
Wow.
4.
So listen, at first we had a bunch of cabins available. And then they sold out, right. And then we opened up more cabins. And right. So we only have 4 left now?
We only have 4 left.
Guys, listen.
If you want to join us.
If you want to go with us, we're going to Cozumel. 5 days cruising out of Miami, stopping in Key West, Florida. We're taking our Marriages and Parenting Successfully group to Mexico. Good morning, Nadine. What's up? Good to see you. We want you to come along with us. So go to thecrcoach.com, find out more about the My Family Rocks Cruise 2018. You don't have to be married to go. You don't have to.
You don't have to be a part of the MAPS community.
You don't have to be a part of the MAPS community. If you are a person that wants to hang out with people who are trying to grow their relationships on purpose and healthy, this is a group to hang out with, and we're going to have a ball. The theme of that week is fun. The theme of that week is fun. We don't want you to bring your coach and like, we're not going to be coaching you on the boat. That's not happening. I'm telling you right now, we're not doing that. I'm going to give you my card until you call me when we get back. If that's what you want to do. But I'm not interested in coaching. We're going to have a good time, Sheree. So I'm excited. It's called the My Family Rocks Cruise 2018. So let's get into content for today. I'm excited. If you are on, I think I saw Lacey jump on. Nadine is on. Good to see you. I see Karen. She's listening. She's got several things going on this morning. So it's good to see Karen as well. Do me a favor, guys. Share this out really quickly. So, Sheree, we're going to have to help people out a little bit. So we are the proud parents of 2 adults, and they've been grown for a minute. They've grown. And we had the toughest time really making that transition from parent to coach, because today we can honestly say we thoroughly enjoy our adult relationships with our kids.
Right.
We have a phenomenal situation. But guys, I'm going to tell you, first of all, we built it. I will tell you, it didn't just happen.
Right.
And secondly, it was hard.
Right.
It wasn't easy.
Right. And even like with our daughter, I remember when she went off to college, I went through, the whole, at that time, Justin wasn't living with us full time. So I went through the whole empty nester thing, like, oh my God, my life is going to end because she's gone. What am I going to do? Right.
Remember sitting in the freshman orientation, and we were like, so are they going to send us the report cards?
Right. They're like, no.
It's like, no, we don't do that. Right. We didn't ask that out loud. We kind of asked that between the two.
Right. But making that transition was hard. Being able to let go to a degree, and allow her to grow, allow her to become an adult, still be involved, but not be too involved.
Right.
And initially, we went through, because we transitioned, we actually wound up, while she was in college in her undergrad, we wound up relocating to Atlanta during that time. So I'm going to say this first, we didn't do it all right. Because
did a lot of things wrong.
Right. We kind of adopted the mentality that a lot of us grow up with, when they turn 18, they gone, you done.
Yep.
Initially, the first year she was in college, I didn't let go.
Right.
I was very active, very much wanted to be hands-on.
Yeah. She went to college an hour and a half away from us.
Right. And I probably was trying to go up there every weekend.
And she wasn't having it, but we was trying to work through that. Go ahead.
Right. But after we went through a little rough patch when we moved to Atlanta, but after that, being able to reestablish a relationship with her being in as an adult was difficult, because it's like, even though I know you're grown, you're on your own, you handle your business, you're doing what you need to do, there's a part of you as a parent that still wants to parent.
Exactly.
And you have to learn not to parent, but to then become a confidant, to become a coach, to become a friend to a degree with your adult child. Because it's a different relationship. It's not the same. It's not, I'm going to tell you what to do.
Right.
and you're going to do it.
So first of all, before we get into that, I want to find out in our community, if you are the parent of a kid, let's say they are at least a junior in high school or older. If that's you, I want you to put in the chat, that's me. That's me. Put that in the chat. That's me. The reason why I say that, guys, is because, Cherie, I've often said that the reason why we were able to finally make that turn, and it happened sooner rather than later. I know parents that, you know, kids are 20, 25, 30 years old before they 40, before they finally are able to make that transition. Right. And listen, guys, I'm going to help y'all understand. This is no judgment. I get it. I understand why that's the case. There's a sense of responsibility that you have as a parent that does not allow you just to let go easily. I'm going to say that again. For those of you all who are watching on Instagram, there's a sense of responsibility that you have as a parent that you don't relinquish that responsibility easy. But here's what I'm going to submit to you guys that will make that easier, particularly if they are younger. So if you're parenting younger kids, I want you to listen up really clearly, because you are in the best position possible to make this transition as easy as possible. And that is, you have to begin building processes that allow you to make certain transitions.
Right. And I think that the key to that is parenting with the relationship in mind. Realize you're raising, even if you have small children, you're raising them to become adults.
Right. That you have to write that down somewhere. You're raising your children to become adults. And I think, unfortunately, we know that intellectually. But making that a reality sometimes is a different thing. Right.
And when you keep that at the forefront, that you're raising them to be adults, it helps you to start putting benchmarks in place as they're growing up.
Yeah.
Giving them certain responsibilities, pulling back in areas to allow them to grow,
right,
to be the mature person in whatever is age appropriate at that time, so that when you get to 17, 18, you've already stepped back in a lot of areas and are allowing them to make their own decisions in some areas, allowing them to be able to be responsible for themselves as it's age appropriate. So when they leave home at 18, if they go off to college, or if they go to the military, or if they just leave home, whatever the situation is, you've already, number one, you're confident and you're secure in the fact that you've prepared them for that.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Most parents continue to parent their children when they're adults because they feel like they haven't prepared them for adulthood. So if I know that you know how to balance your checkbook or how to handle your money, I'm not going to be trying to tell you how to handle your money when you're an adult.
Micromanaging becomes non-existent when you know that you've prepared somebody. I'm going to give you a quick example. So Tiger Woods, when he was a kid, his father really taught him the game of golf, right? And so as I watched and I studied, I play golf. One of the things that his father would do, Cherie, is he would put him in scenarios as a child to allow him to perform in such adverse conditions as a child,
right,
that he knew that when he grew up, he would be able to handle himself. His father was a ex-military guy, retired military, hard-nosed brother, you know what I'm saying, that really knew what his son would probably go through. And I remember reading somewhere or watching a video somewhere, and he used to purposely allow him to play on golf courses that were really noisy, like near airports and things like that, that had a lot of exterior stuff going on and noise, not the greatest golf courses sometimes, because he knew that if this kid should catch on, and if he really was going to be as good as he thought he could be, he would play in some pretty adverse situations where you got thousands of people on the golf course. Guys, let me tell you something right now. It's not normal for thousands of people to be watching you play golf, like live right there in your face.
Right. Normally there's no one on the golf course.
And so there's times where if you are, and maybe you don't play golf, let me help you understand. You're at the green, and you know that big area where they're trying to sink this ball in the hole, and there's a gallery. This gallery has been built. There's bleachers. There's people there. I mean, it's literally like thousands of people, depending on how popular the event is. And all it takes is for somebody to cough. and your mind is blown. Like, you're blown. Because at this point, you're like, oh, my God. Like, dude, I'm trying to sink this 12-foot putt for the win, and you're coughing.
Right, because typically when you play golf, is everybody, whoever you're playing with, if you're playing in a foursome, everyone's quiet when you go to putt.
When you
go to tee off,
or whatever,
everybody's quiet.
Everybody's quiet. People ain't talking. You're having a conversation.
The birds chirping. That's it. It's not people talking. It's not noise, and that's the decorum of the game is that you're quiet when the other person is playing. And
so what I want you guys, hey, what's up, Jihad? Good to see you. What I want you guys to understand is that when you prepare your kids for adversity on the front end, it causes them to be so prepared that you get to back off because now your confidence is going through the roof. So I wrote down here is that as parents, the reason why we cannot allow our children to develop, and it's hard for us to make the transition from parent to coach, is because we don't trust the process. We do not trust the process.
Right.
Now, there's several reasons why you might not trust the process. I want to help you guys out because the process looks very different than everyone else. If you are a single mother and you've been raising your kids the best way you know how, and you've not had a whole lot of help, you don't even know what your process is because it's a blur.
Right. You're just going through.
You're just trying to make it.
You're trying to maintain day to day.
Right. And so I get that. You're trying to work 2-3 jobs. This is how I grew up. My mom's trying to work 2-3 jobs. She's trying to figure it out. She just turned 71. I remember I put it out there and say, for years, we didn't know we had a dining room table because her cutting board was on the table because she would work for the telephone company during the day and she would come home and make people's clothes at night. Why? Because she was trying to make it happen. Her process was a blur. She didn't know what the process was to raising us.
Right. But the flip side of that for single parents is that in most cases with single parents, your child is more prepared than you think because of the fact that you are a single parent, because of the fact that you are working multiple jobs and you're doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
You oftentimes,
it's okay.
You oftentimes start giving them responsibilities at a younger age.
Right.
Now, some people would debate that that's not good. Some people would debate that it is good, but either way,
they're getting responsibilities because they almost have to by default.
Right. They start learning responsibilities at a younger age. So by the time they're 16, 17, 18, they learned a lot of the essential things that they need to be able to function on their own.
Absolutely.
Just by default because of your inability to be there, because you're working, because you're doing what you got to do to take care of them. So they've had to pick up some things. And so that can be beneficial if it's done in balance.
Absolutely.
Now, what happens in 2-parent homes often is, and especially if you have a parent that's controlling,
right?
They don't allow the child to gain certain responsibilities because they're not going to do it right. You're not going to do it right, so I'm going to just do it myself. I want it done my way.
Right.
So I'm not going to let you do that. But what happens in those cases is that you handicap and hinder your children because you're doing everything for them.
So we're talking about, for those of y'all who just jumping in, maybe you're coming in by way of IG. My name is Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. This is my lovely, beautiful wife. I just thank God for 19 years in a row. I'm looking through the window thinking about you and thinking about how the journey that we've come from. We've both been married before. I was married for 12 years prior to you. You were married twice before me. I'm the charm. They say 3 times the charm. That the 3 would be me.
Yeah.
That would be me. You know what I'm saying? We got our shirts on. Marriage is for the mature. And one of the things that we've been able to do over these 19 years, guys, is grow up. I just want to let you guys know what people see today is us having grown up.
Yes.
And I think that unfortunately, most people are not maturing quick enough in order to demonstrate what that maturity looks like for their kids. And here's what I'm going to submit to you guys this morning. Kids do what you do. They don't do what you say. I want y'all to just let that marinate for a minute.
That whole do as I say.
Kids do what you do.
That don't work.
They don't do what you say. So if you are not establishing certain processes for them, and Cherie, you said something that was, I think, super key. When you give a child responsibility at certain ages, what happens is that they own those responsibilities and they begin to build their own process. And so if I go back to the game of golf, sometimes you may hear the term, just trust the swing, trust your mechanics, trust your swing. If it's baseball, trust your swing. If it's football, trust, just perform as do what the defense gives you. In other words, Don't make nothing happen. Don't force nothing. Just trust the process. Let the game come to you. Parenting is a game. And if you allow the game and you set it up in a way where the game comes to you, it slows down. So now when you get to the place where that child is 16 and 17 years old, there's certain benchmarks that they have made. Now they're driving. They're able to be responsible for certain things. And so you already know that they are ready to go. So when they go to leave the nest, not only are they ready, but you ready. And it's not a sense of, I want you out of here. It is, I am proud to now release you into the big bad world because I know I equipped you. And I think that that's unfortunately the fear that many of us had. We had it is, did I do a good job? Did I do it? Did I do it enough to make it work?
Right. And ultimately, parents, the goal is for them to become functional adults. For them to leave your home, for them to have their own families, for them to have their own lives, but if we don't prepare them as when they're children, it's very difficult for them to go through that. But even if you haven't prepared them fully, you have to let go and allow them to go through their process. You're still there to support them. But you have to realize that you're there as support now. You have to wait for them to come to you. You have to be there to be able to guide them. But it's not for you now as they're being adult. If you see your adult child making bad choices, you can go to them and ask them, and
let's talk about that a little bit real quick.
I've learned, through situations with both of my children, they've made some choices that I did not agree with.
Absolutely.
And so what I did, because they were adults at that time, I didn't go to them and be like, you're wrong. You shouldn't do this and this, that, and the other. I went to them and I asked, I see what you're going through or I hear what you're saying, but can I share my opinion?
Right.
Can I give you some feedback?
Now here's the thing. I want y'all to hear this very clearly. We understood early on that we had to build, or we had to parent our kids with the relationship in mind, meaning that there needs to be a relationship foundation with you and your children so that you can come to them, ask them a question, and they can hear you wanting to help. Because when they turn around and they say, yes, you can offer your opinion, that's when you go.
Right. And let me give a disclaimer. This for me came from my own personal experience with my parents. When I was growing up as a young adult, my parents were not they were going to bark and tell me what to do. They weren't interested in why I was doing what I was doing.
Right.
They were the very controlling, they were
dictators. It's our way or the highway. This is what it's going to be. You don't have a say. I'm sorry, but that's what it was.
Right. And so they
no disrespect, but that's just what it was.
Right. I mean, they came from that old school that they just would tell you what to do.
Most of our parents, if you're in your late 40s and 50s, your parents, you understand. Your parents was that way.
Right. And what that caused for me was it caused me to pull away from my parents because it's like, I'm grown. Can you let me be grown? Let me try to figure this out. If I need your help, I'll come to you. I don't need you telling me what to do.
If I need your help, I will come to you. See, that would got me punched in the mouth back in the day. You get what I'm saying? Y'all already know we couldn't say that.
Right. But it caused a great divide between me and my parents. And there were years when I did not deal with them. I mean, I would go and be social on special events, but there was no relationship.
Right.
Because they were not willing to allow me to grow up. They were not willing to allow me to be an adult. And so when I had children, once my children got to that age, I knew that I did not want to repeat that same cycle. I wanted to do something different. I wanted them to know that I was there, but I did not want to overstep my boundaries.
And unfortunately, what happens is, guys, is that when you have a child that has made the decision to close you out, listen to me, guys, you don't get to control your children. I don't care how old they are. The only reason a 5-year-old does what his mother says is because she's bigger than him.
And wait till your 15-year-old, 13-year-old get bigger than you and see them.
And when I say bigger, I don't necessarily mean in stature, meaning your authority weighs more. But when they hit middle school range, by that stride, they're starting to feel themselves and they thinking, you know what? I can come back off. I can say what I want. I can do what I want. And they show you every day that you are not in control.
Right. And it may not even be in them being disrespectful. We're not saying that, but it's them now. They go to school. They're a different person when they're at school. They're not doing what you're telling them to do when they're at school. because that's their realm, that's their environment. And so you see that there's a divide. They're going to do what you say when they home.
Yeah.
But when they go over to their friend's house or when they're at school, they do what they want to do.
And guys,
they big and bad enough to do that.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. And we're going to wrap up, but I want to hear from you guys. If you got any questions, if you're going through some challenges, if you got some situations that are specific, ask the question in the chat and we'll hit them right before we get off. I really want to help you. Here's the challenge that I know most people go through, is that because we don't really know what the process was. That's why I think it's very important for you to lay out a vision of where you want your children to go. As soon as they're born, as soon as they're, while you're in that the newness stage of it, when they're in elementary school, the point is, and all of this is available in our books. I remember writing in How to Raise a Man, Not a Mama's Boy. That was my first book. The idea of sort of forecasting, if you will, understanding where he's going before he gets there so that you can be prepared, particularly as a single mother. I want you guys to understand that when you do that, what you do is you build processes. And when you build processes, it's very easy to back up and say, you know what, I know for a fact that this kid is ready because I prepared him. Right. I coached him. Guys, when we talk about making the transition from parent to coach, what we're literally saying is that it comes a point in time where you let go the reins, you trust the process, and then now you position yourself for them to come to you and ask you what you think. Our son is 24 years old, and he doesn't live in our state. And he will regularly call me and say, Dad, I got a quick question. Here's the scenario. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Now, guys, listen to me really carefully. He's in a different state. He's grown. Mm-hmm. He's got his own job. He's doing his own thing. He's making it happen. He's winning when it comes to just growing through his daily challenges. But he'll call me. He'll FaceTime me, to be specific, and say, hey, you got a second? I just need 5 minutes. I got this deal pending. He does wholesale real estate. I got this deal pending, and here's a scenario. I'm thinking about doing this, and this. What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. The fact that he will call me says that we built a relationship, that he trusts me to speak into his life. And that's not necessarily because I'm this guru or anything. It's because I did work and I put in the work to build that relationship. Our daughter does the exact same thing at 32 years old. She's getting a PhD. She's smarter than both of us.
She ain't got to ask me.
Combined, she ain't got to ask me nothing. She's got 2 masters, hey, right? I'm forever calling her and asking her, sweetie, let me ask you a question. You got a second? Yeah, Dad, what you need? I need to know. Like,
this is when the child becomes the parent.
You get what I'm saying? But as a coach, what we know and what we're good at is we're good at creating an environment. Listen to me carefully, guys, where people want to come to you.
Right.
Parents, listen to me.
Right. And that's what you want. Ultimately.
That starts when they're young.
Right. But that's ultimately what you want when your children become adults. You want them to want to come to you.
Yeah.
You don't want that divide. You don't want there to be this sever that happens when they turn 18, 19, or 20, because you have not been able to step back and allow them to be an adult.
Exactly.
And allowing them to be an adult often is allowing them to make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's part of their journey.
Absolutely. Last thing that we're going to say, guys, is when you set this up properly, you will create scenarios that allows them to make mistakes in safe country.
Right.
Hear me clearly. You create scenarios while they're kids. You allow them to do things. It's going to kill you to allow them to go out and not have a curfew and see what time they're going to come back with your car. Let that sit for a second. It's, Mom, Dad, what time do I need to be in the night? Oh, you make the call. I trust you. They're 17. You're like, they ain't going to know what to do with that. They can be like, you said, huh? Uh-huh. I said, you know what's appropriate. You know how I roll. I've preached enough. So, I know this big thing is coming up. You already know the whole drinking and driving piece, the whole this, that, the third, the whole not having people in your car. We've gone through all that. What am I going to tell you? I'm just going to say, go have a good time and I'll see you when you get home. Well, do I have a curfew? Yeah. It's what, you make the call. You make the decision. I trust that you'll make a solid decision. Here's what I'm going to tell you. At 17, If you started giving them senses of responsibilities at 14, 15, 16, that first of all, when you go to make that call, you already know the caliber of person you're dealing with.
Right. You don't do that the first time out the gate.
No, I'm not saying
take
that. Just go. Take your, whatever you decide. No, we're not saying be an idiot. That's not what we're saying. But what we are saying is that we're saying give them room.
Right.
My daughter said something to me when she was, she had to be, she wasn't, I don't think she had graduated. She had just graduated from undergrad college. And we were going through some major stuff, some things she was dealing with in her personal life. And I just didn't agree with some of the decisions that she was making. And she said to me, Dad, you know, what upsets me more than anything else is that you know me. Mm-hmm. You know me. And the fact that you would come down on me or you would come at me like this says to me that you don't trust the person that you know. Mm-hmm. Now, this is my daughter. She's 21, 22. And I'm saying, I don't know what to do with that. Looking all stupid. You know me, Dad. And she's got tears in her eyes by now. We've been going back and forth over some decisions that she was making and some things. And it wasn't anything super heinous or anything. It was just out of her norm. And I was giving her the blues. If you're just jumping in on the IG, I appreciate you guys. Go back. I'm not sure how it works on IG. It's our first time going live. Y'all look at the replay. But guys, listen to me carefully. My daughter told me to my face, she said, I don't believe that you trust who you know I am.
Right. And that goes to if you have done everything that you know to prepare your child, you have to trust that you've done that you poured your all into them. And trusting them is letting them go and allowing them to grow and allowing them to go through
their process. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. Parents, listen to me. It's going to cost you. That transition from parent to coach costs. It's almost like in a sports arena, going from player to coach. Mm-hmm. That costs. That's not something that comes cheap. But here's what I will promise you. If you create the environment, if you set it up properly as they're growing through their adolescent, their teenage years, and they're coming close to leaving the nest, maybe they're going to college, maybe they're going to the military, and you've done your due diligence and you've created it, now all you have to do is to let them go and let them fall on their face. Here's what I'm going to submit to you. Failure is good.
Yes.
Failure is okay. Yep. We learn more lessons in our failures than we do in our successes. I know that to be true.
Right. In order to succeed in anything, you have to fail.
That's where the success comes from. It comes through your failures. And unfortunately, as parents, we don't want to see them fail. And I'm telling you that fundamentally, that's flawed. Right. Right. Fundamentally, that thinking is a flawed mindset from this perspective. It causes you to usurp their authority and to control them to the point to where now you can't back up.
Right. And the ultimate goal is for you to be able to be there when they do fail, that
Absolutely.
They call you.
That they call you, that they're on your page. And so guys, listen, we're going to wrap up. I appreciate y'all for jumping in. We just wanted to spend some time. If y'all enjoyed this, do me a favor, share it out, heart it up, like it up. If you're on Instagram, share it. I'm not sure how it works on Instagram. Again, this is my first time broadcasting live on Instagram. Looks like we've got somebody, Dash of Life, join. Good to see you. On Instagram. Guys, do me a huge favor, share this out. If you want to know more about who we are, what we do, I want to encourage you to go to the crcoach.com. We've got a ton of things going on to help parents grow and to literally change their situation, right? We're not perfect, but here's what I will tell you. We absolutely are winning. And I define winning as doing the work, learning from your mistakes, and implementing the lessons learned so you don't keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over again. Guys, we all are human. We've screwed it up more times than we care to talk about, trust me. And that's why we try to be as transparent as possible with you guys to let you know, at the end of the day, we all need some help.
Right. And even when you mess it up, go back, fix it.
Yeah. Tell them you're sorry.
Tell them you're sorry.
One of the most powerful things I've learned as a parent is the power of telling your children that you screwed it up. And I'm sorry. Yep. When parents are vulnerable with kids, it changes the game. They ain't ready for that.
Right. They need to know that you're human.
They need to know that you're human. They need to know that you screwed it up. They need to know that you're going to make some strides to fixing this and that you're not going to be that same person over and over again. And here's what you do. You wind up teaching them to do the exact same thing. Guys, we're going to roll. We got some stuff happening today. Just wanted to jump in. If you guys are interested in any of the t-shirts that you see us wear, you can go to the crcoach.com. Marriage is for the mature. I promise you guys, you got to grow up. We had to, and it makes your marriage go well. It makes all your relationships go well when you decide to mature. We're counting
And
down to 19 years.
Next time we see you guys, we'll be 19.
We'll be 19 years old together. You know what I'm saying? We're so excited. Sister, guys, listen, we're going to have an online party on our anniversary. Tuesday, January 30th at 7 p.m. on my personal Facebook page, Glenn P. Brooks Jr. Just find me on Facebook.com/Glenn P. Brooks Jr. What's up, Mike the Motivator? Good to see you, brother. First time broadcasting live on IG, man. Normally, Facebook Live is my thing. I'm just testing some stuff out with IG. Good to see you, man. You got to teach me how this part works. But we're talking to parents, Mike, about transitioning from parent to coach. What to do when these kids are turning 16, 17, 18 years old, and you get a chance to talk to kids at the college level. And I know you understand what it looks like when they have not been really prepared in a lot of ways to handle those kinds of responsibilities. And guys, listen, at the end of the day, no judgment, just a fact. Parents, it's our responsibility to prepare. No judgment, just a fact. It is our responsibility. When they're not prepared, that's my fault.
Yep.
Period. Now, I don't get to control what they do with that, but I do get to control that I prepared them to win. And so we got people jumping on. I can see with IG, we're going to have to go on a half an hour early just to get folks to jump in, because I just realized we about 30 minutes in and folks just jumping in. I love
it's
it.
okay. People not used to us being on it.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Hey, Damo. To join us.
Yeah, we're gone.
We gotta go. I'm hungry.
I'm hangry. Look, that's our cue, guys. When she gets hangry, it's time to go. I'll talk to you guys soon. At the end of the day, hashtag we all need some help.
Have a great Saturday.
All right, guys. IG, y'all do me a favor. Heart it up real quick. We're still live with you guys really quickly.